Why is this better than a Marshall? Because it doesn't suck. That's why. It's everything you've always wanted a JCM 800 to be without having to hack it to pieces. Let me show you why. Hey there, I'm Glenn Fricker and welcome to the best gear ever. This is where I take a look at the dream level gear, the very top of the pile, the stuff that's so damn expensive yet it's somehow still cheaper than a month's rent in New York City. I couldn't stand Marshalls as a kid. I remember plugging into a JCM 800 for the first time and thinking, the hell is this? It sounded like a fucking mosquito. No, actually, it sounded like mosquitoes fucking. It's not enough gain, not enough balls, and it's just a shrill, weak sound that was loud. And all the metal guys were playing them back then. Why? Because most of them were modded to hell. Jose mods, extra gain stages, diode clipping, and of course, distortion pedals. Lots and lots and lots of distortion pedals. Get your Northern Mauler today. They had to do that so they'd make them usable. Stock? Forget about it. The only thing weaker than a stock JCM 800 is my faith in humanity after reading all the YouTube comments that are gonna say, oh, but my Marshall's special. Yes, yes it is, just like your tubes and your pickups. And if the suits are wondering why everyone and their dog has moved on to boutique amps from Marshall, you're looking at the reason right here. Now let me introduce you to the Tube Workshop Lulis Signature Amp. This isn't just some wannabe Marshall clone. This is what Marshall wishes it could be. Designed with Uwe Lulis from Accept, this amp just doesn't copy the GCM 800, it freaking obliterates it! In GCM mode, it is everything you love about the 800, but with none of the bass anemic bullshit. And the gain? It's smooth, it's powerful, and it uses an OD1 style boost circuit, meaning it'll rip your fucking face off while still sounding like a professional grade piece of gear. Not some Frankenstein experiment gone wrong. And let me be clear here, this isn't some LA mod knockoff. Those are a dime a dozen these days, and they're all about cramming in as much gain as humanly possible, regardless of how it sounds. The Lulis amp takes a smarter approach. It's got the aggression you need for heavy rock, but it's not a one-trick pony. It's versatile enough to handle anything you can throw at it. And yes, before you ask, it's handmade in Germany, not mass-produced in some factory somewhere where the QC guy is asleep at his desk. Meanwhile, let's talk about what Marshall's been up to. Oh, sure, they've been really busy, trying to become a fashion brand. They've got all kinds of apparel, headphones, and all sorts of other crap to cash in on with that world-famous Marshall logo. Meanwhile, us guitar players have all been over here like, remember us? You guys are supposed to be building amps! But hey, we all know that the big money is in this bullshit right here. Now, what sets the Lulis apart is that it just doesn't do one sound. With its switchable JTM and JCM modes, you've got two completely different preamps in one box. You want that aggressive 80s crunch? JCM 800 mode. Think classic Dawkins, but with a massive bottom end and none of that wimpy low end that the stock JCM 800 is known for. Now, if you need something more subdued and vintage, flip it to JTM. And this is where the Lulis really shines, giving you tones that work from everything from vintage blues to crushing metal. And with the built-in overdrive circuit, you've got all the gain you're ever gonna need without stacking pedals on your board like some kind of gear-obsessed tone hoarder who spends more time buying gear than actually practicing his instrument. Plus, the two master volumes mean you can go from rhythm to lead with ease. It's like they actually thought about what musicians need. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is JCM 800 mode. And this is JTM mode for all you edge of breakup guys. Okay, here's a hint. You're not supposed to date your sister. But in the hands of a competent player, this amp is not only great on rhythms, it absolutely sings on the leads. Check out this full mix using the Lulis on all the guitar tracks. All right, I'll admit it. I was listening to an awful lot of Dawkins when I was mixing that track. So here's the bottom line. The Lewis signature amp isn't just better than a Marshall. It's what Marshall wishes it could be if it ever grew a pair. It's smarter, it's more versatile, and it's not stuck in the past. Whether you're playing live or you're recording in the studio like me, this amp will handle it all without breaking a sweat. And at 3,899 euros, that's roughly $4,100 USD if you're ordering from Thomann, it's not just a killer amp, it is a damn good investment in your tone. Yeah, it's definitely not cheap, but hey, it's still cheaper than your bass player's therapy bill, and unlike a JCM 800, you won't need to spend another grand on mods just to make it sound good. Now, if you don't want to pay that much, that's absolutely fine. You can go find yourself a stock JCM 800 and enjoy sounding like you're playing through a broken kazoo. Go check out the Lewis at Tube Workshop. And if you're still clinging to your old Marshall, I've got one question for you. Why? Yes, it is, just like your... You guys are supposed... Yes, we... Take a good look. It's like that... Okay, let's do that one more time. One more time. Ah, fuck.